The night started like any other in the glittering world of celebrity power couples. But nobody expected it to spiral into a whirlwind of shocking revelations and jaw-dropping confessions. Fans were already buzzing online, speculating about Papoose and Claressa Shields' latest moves. But what unfolded next left everyone speechless. The cameras rolled, the lights blazed, and what was meant to be a casual conversation about Claressa's new venture, Bars on Wheels, quickly turned into a tangled web of emotions, rivalries, and raw honesty. As Papoose leaned in, his expression unreadable, Claressa's eyes sparked with intensity, hinting at secrets the world had never seen before. The air was thick with anticipation, every pause loaded with tension, every glance a subtle challenge. Rumors had been circulating for weeks about behind-the-scenes disagreements with friends, family, and even fellow artists. And tonight, it seemed, those whispers were about to explode into the open. The conversation started innocuously enough, discussing the fusion of music and sports, the hurdles of breaking new ground, but it didn't take long for emotions to boil over. Viewers at home watched as Papoose's voice dropped to a serious, almost commanding tone, while Claressa countered with sharp, unapologetic clarity. Sparks flew, not just from their words, but from the weight of unspoken histories and unhealed wounds. Fans are shocked, discussions erupted across social media, and the family was left divided, unsure how to navigate the delicate balance between love, ambition, and public scrutiny. And just when you thought the night had revealed everything, a surprise revelation about a personal betrayal sent shockwaves through their inner circle, leaving everyone, including you, on the edge of their seat, desperate to know what would happen next. This isn't just an interview. It's a window into a private world where passion, pride, and loyalty clash, and no one leaves unscathed. The stage is set, the players are in place, and every word is charged with the kind of drama that only the unfiltered lives of Papoose and Claressa Shields can deliver. The night had barely begun when tensions were already simmering in the room. Paparazzi flashes lit up the space, catching glimpses of Papoose pacing nervously, while Claressa Shields adjusted her gloves and tried to maintain a calm exterior. Fans watching live were already commenting frantically, some sensing the underlying friction between the couple. What had started as a simple discussion about Claressa's innovative project, Bars on Wheels, quickly escalated into something far more personal. "You know, this isn't just about the music or boxing anymore," Papoose muttered under his breath, though the cameras caught every syllable. Claressa's eyes flicked toward him, sharp and unwavering. "Then why are you bringing up things that don't even matter?" she shot back, her tone icy but precise. The atmosphere was electric, charged with unspoken histories and lingering resentments that had been carefully hidden from the public eye. The fans were shocked. Social media erupted almost instantly as clips of the heated exchange began circulating online. People were divided, some defending Papoose, others siding with Claressa, and a few just confused about the sudden wave of tension. Every move seemed calculated, every glance loaded with meaning, and it was clear to anyone watching that the stakes were higher than anyone could have guessed. The conversation moved seamlessly from the technical aspects of Claressa's project to more personal matters. Papoose's voice grew firmer. "I'm just saying, we have to think about the legacy, the impact we leave behind. It's not all about fame or followers." Claressa shook her head, frustration bubbling to the surface. "Legacy? I've been fighting in the ring my whole life. You think I don't care about impact? Don't even start." The cameras zoomed in on her expression, and fans noted the subtle tremor in her hands, betraying the emotion she tried to hide. The family dynamic began creeping into the discussion, adding another layer of tension. Rumors had long circulated about disagreements between Papoose and certain family members, and now Claressa seemed poised to confront him about them. "You always take their side," she said sharply, her words slicing through the charged air. "Even when I'm standing right here." Papoose's jaw tightened, and for a moment, silence fell. The tension was palpable, almost suffocating, and the crew filming couldn't help but exchange nervous glances. Just as the atmosphere seemed ready to snap, a shocking revelation came to light. A whispered confession about past betrayals, one that neither Claressa nor Papoose had expected to surface tonight, sent both of them reeling. "So that's what this is really about?" Papoose asked, his voice a mixture of disbelief and hurt. Claressa nodded, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Yes, it's about honesty, about finally speaking the truth." Fans were frantically typing in the live chat, their emotions mirroring the chaos unfolding on screen. Some expressed outrage, others sympathy, and a few couldn't believe the drama was happening in real time. The cameras caught every reaction, from the subtle clench of a fist to the sharp intake of breath, and the audience at home felt as though they were intruding on a deeply private moment. Amidst the escalating drama, Claressa shifted the focus back to her project, trying to regain control. "Bars on Wheels isn't just a gimmick," she said, her voice steady despite the tension. "It's a statement. It's about showing the world that we can innovate, push boundaries, and inspire the next generation." Papoose leaned back, arms crossed, his expression unreadable. "I get that," he said slowly, "but sometimes, in trying to make a statement, you risk burning bridges. We need to be careful." The dialogue continued, alternating between strategic planning and raw emotional confessions. Each time one topic seemed settled, another layer of complexity revealed itself. The audience could sense the underlying struggle between love, ambition, and pride, and it made every moment feel like a ticking time bomb. Midway through the conversation, a surprising twist occurred. A previously unmentioned figure, a close friend from Claressa's past, entered the discussion via a video call, dropping information that neither of them could have anticipated. "I thought you knew the whole story," the friend said, a hint of accusation in their tone. The revelation shook both Claressa and Papoose, forcing them to reconsider their positions and reassess their trust in one another. Emotions ran high as accusations flew, apologies were offered and withdrawn, and fans were left on the edge of their seats, desperate to know what would happen next. It was a delicate balance between vulnerability and pride, with both parties struggling to maintain control over their emotions while staying true to themselves. As the night wore on, Claressa shared memories from her boxing career, highlighting the struggles, triumphs, and sacrifices that had shaped her into the person she was today. "Every fight," she said quietly, almost to herself, "wasn't just in the ring. It was in life. It was about proving to everyone, including myself, that I could endure, that I could rise." Papoose listened intently, his earlier defensiveness softening as he began to understand the depth of her journey. Yet the tension remained, because the revelations and unresolved conflicts lingered like shadows over the conversation. Fans were captivated, commenting on every subtle gesture, every change in tone, every glance that seemed to convey volumes without words. The dialogue shifted again, this time exploring the nuances of black love and the pressures faced by high-profile couples in the public eye. "People don't see the hours, the sacrifices, the arguments that never make it to the tabloids," Papoose explained, his voice low and earnest. "They see the highlight reel, and it's easy to judge." Claressa nodded, acknowledging the truth in his words, though her expression remained guarded. The conversation became a delicate dance, each trying to assert their perspective while also remaining vulnerable enough to connect with the other. Fans were glued to their screens, hanging on every word, every pause, every emotional beat. As the night progressed, a heated debate emerged about ambition and personal boundaries. Claressa expressed frustration over external pressures and unsolicited advice from industry peers, while Papoose highlighted the importance of strategic decision-making and maintaining focus. The clash was intense, full of fiery exchanges, emotional confessions, and occasional laughter that broke through the tension like brief sunlight on a stormy day. The cameras captured it all, creating a sense of intimacy that viewers couldn't resist. Midway through this emotional roller coaster, a revelation about a mutual friend's alleged betrayal added another dramatic twist. The news sparked immediate reactions from both Claressa and Papoose, resulting in a torrent of emotions ranging from shock and anger to confusion and betrayal. "How could they?" Claressa whispered, her voice trembling with disbelief. Papoose shook his head, his normally calm demeanor shattered. "I trusted them. We trusted them," he muttered, almost to himself. The fans erupted online, debating loyalties, speculating motives, and reacting with a mix of horror and fascination. Each dramatic beat amplified the sense of urgency, making it impossible to look away. In the final hour of the discussion, the focus returned to their personal and professional goals. Claressa emphasized the importance of empowerment, innovation, and staying true to oneself, while Papoose reflected on resilience, trust, and the delicate art of balancing love and ambition. The dialogue, layered with raw emotion, strategic insights, and heartfelt confessions, created a narrative that was impossible to ignore. Fans were left hanging on every word, every expression, every moment of vulnerability, knowing that the night had revealed only a fraction of the story. The stage was set for future revelations, and the drama, as always, promised to continue. The intensity, the stakes, and the unfiltered honesty made it clear this was more than an interview. It was a spectacle of human emotion, ambition, and love played out under the scrutiny of the public eye, leaving fans craving more and wondering what would unfold in the days to come. The conversation picked up again after a brief pause, the tension still thick in the room, almost tangible. Papoose rubbed his temples, trying to collect his thoughts, while Claressa paced slowly, the rhythm of her steps echoing the rapid beat of her heart. "We need to talk about loyalty," Papoose began, his voice low but firm. "Because right now, I'm not sure who's really on our side." Claressa stopped mid-step, her expression sharpening. "You think I don't know that?" She shot back, a mix of hurt and defiance in her tone. "I've seen the whispers, the sideways glances, the friendly advice that isn't really friendly at all. I know exactly what's going on." Fans were reacting in real time, flooding social media with comments like, "Emotions ran high and the family is left divided." While others debated who was truly at fault, the room seemed to shrink around them, the walls pressing in as memories, accusations, and unspoken truths collided. It wasn't just about bars on wheels anymore. It was about trust, betrayal, and the raw, unfiltered reality of balancing a relationship under the relentless gaze of fame. Just as Papoose opened his mouth to respond, Claressa pulled up a message on her phone, her hand trembling slightly. "You need to see this," she said quietly. The camera zoomed in, capturing the tension as Papoose's eyes widened. The message contained information that neither had anticipated, involving a mutual associate who had allegedly manipulated events behind the scenes. "So all this time," Papoose trailed off, disbelief lacing his voice. Claressa nodded slowly, the weight of the revelation settling over her like a heavy fog. "Yes, and we need to decide how to handle it," she replied, her voice steady despite the storm inside. The fans were riveted, sharing theories and predictions as the drama unfolded in real time. The discussion moved fluidly between past grievances and present challenges, each layer peeling back another level of emotion. Memories of prior conflicts, unspoken resentments, and personal sacrifices surfaced, each adding fuel to the fire. "I've fought my whole life," Claressa said, her voice almost breaking, "in the ring, in the streets, everywhere. And now I feel like I have to fight at home too." Papoose softened slightly, his defensive posture giving way to a mixture of empathy and concern. "I get it," he said, "but fighting isn't always the answer. Sometimes, we need to trust each other more than we trust the noise around us." The interplay of raw emotion and rational reflection created a dynamic that was impossible to ignore. Fans watched every nuance, every subtle shift in tone, every micro-expression that hinted at deeper layers of the narrative. The conversation then shifted to the public perception of Black love, and the pressures that fame imposes on couples trying to maintain authenticity. "People see the highlight reels," Papoose said. "They don't see the arguments, the doubts, the nights you stay up worrying about loyalty and honesty." Claressa nodded, her eyes reflecting a mix of understanding and lingering frustration. "And when people comment or speculate," she added, "it can feel like an assault, like they have a say in what's supposed to be sacred between us." The cameras captured the vulnerability, the resilience, and the tension in every frame. Midway through the dialogue, another shocking revelation emerged. An unexpected text from a former manager hinted at financial manipulation and strategic betrayals, intended to disrupt their collaboration on bars on wheels. The room fell silent for a moment, both processing the gravity of the situation. "So all this time, someone's been playing chess with us, not knowing we're the pawns," Papoose muttered, a hint of anger creeping into his voice. Claressa exhaled slowly, a mixture of disbelief and resolve. "Then it's time to make moves on our own terms. No one controls us but ourselves." Fans erupted in the chat, using phrases like "this is getting wild" and "I can't believe the drama," while others debated the implications of the revelation. The emotional stakes were climbing higher with each passing moment, the story unfolding like a tightly wound thriller. As the night deepened, the discussion took a reflective turn. Claressa shared insights into her boxing career, emphasizing the parallels between her struggles in the ring and the battles she now faced in her personal and professional life. "Every punch, every loss, every victory, it all shaped me," she explained, "and now, every decision outside the ring feels like a fight too." Papoose nodded, acknowledging the depth of her journey. "And that's why I stand by you, even when it's messy," he said, his voice softer now, tinged with emotion. Yet the drama wasn't finished. Another twist surfaced when an anonymous insider called Liv during the interview, claiming to have knowledge of past incidents that neither Claressa nor Papoose had disclosed. The revelation was explosive, forcing both to confront uncomfortable truths and test the strength of their trust. The dialogue became increasingly intense, emotions swinging from anger to sadness to fleeting moments of laughter that broke the tension like lightning through a storm. Fans remained glued to the screens, commenting, reacting, and theorizing at a feverish pace. Accusations flew, clarifications were demanded, and confessions were reluctantly offered. The room became a microcosm of the larger world outside, where loyalty, ambition, love, and betrayal intersect in complex, unpredictable ways. As the conversation wound toward the later hours, Claressa and Papoose began to strategize about their next moves, balancing personal grievances with professional aspirations. "We need to protect our legacy," Claressa said firmly, "because if we don't, no one else will." Papoose agreed, adding, "But we also need to protect each other, even when the world is against us." Fans were struck by the vulnerability, the honesty, and the strategic thinking displayed simultaneously, creating a narrative that was both emotionally charged and intellectually engaging. The night closed with a sense of unresolved tension, as questions about trust, loyalty, and ambition lingered in the air. Viewers were left on edge, eager for the next chapter in this unfolding saga. The mix of personal stakes, professional ambitions, and high-profile drama had created a story that was impossible to ignore, leaving fans hungry for more and ready to dissect every moment in detail. The interplay of emotions, surprises, and calculated decisions set the stage for what promised to be a series of revelations and confrontations that would dominate headlines and fan conversations for weeks to come. The intensity, authenticity, and unpredictability of the night cemented its place as a defining moment in the lives of Papoose and Claressa Shields. A night that fans would talk about, analyze, and speculate on endlessly. The tension carried into the early hours, yet neither Papoose nor Claressa showed any sign of backing down. The energy in the room was electric, and every gesture, every glance, seemed to carry the weight of unspoken history. Papoose leaned forward, elbows on his knees, his voice low but sharp. "You think this is just about bars on wheels? It's bigger than that. It's about respect, loyalty, and who really has our back." Claressa's gaze hardened, her hands clenching slightly. "I know exactly who's been fake," she replied, her tone cutting through the charged silence. Fans watching live were practically holding their breath, typing furiously in the chat, with comments like, "Emotions ran high," and "The family was left divided," echoing across social media. It was clear that the stakes were higher than anyone had anticipated. The conversation meandered into personal territories, with old arguments and past grievances surfacing. Papoose recounted incidents from years ago, each memory dripping with emotion, each anecdote revealing layers of frustration, hurt, and unacknowledged sacrifice. Claressa listened, occasionally interrupting with her own sharp recollections, creating a dialogue that was as much about airing truths as it was about testing the limits of patience. "Do you remember what they said about me?" she asked, voice trembling slightly. "Do you remember how everyone questioned my abilities, my decisions? I had to fight twice as hard just to prove myself, and now you're questioning my judgment." The cameras captured every nuance, every micro-expression, and fans were glued to the unfolding spectacle. Midway, the focus shifted back to bars on wheels, but the discussion was far from professional. The project had become a symbol of their partnership, their struggles, and their unyielding desire to carve their own path despite external pressures. "This isn't just a business," Claressa said, passion radiating from her voice. "It's a testament to resilience. It's about showing the world we don't just survive, we thrive, even when everyone doubts us." Papoose nodded, his expression softening momentarily, yet the shadows of doubt and past betrayals lingered. "I get that, but we have to be strategic," he cautioned. "We can't let emotions guide every decision. Sometimes the world isn't ready for the raw truth, and it can backfire." The tension between heart and mind, passion and strategy, kept the dialogue intense, compelling, and unpredictable. Fans were live commenting reactions, speculating on hidden motives, and debating who was truly in the right. The discussion then turned to black love and the societal pressures that weigh on high-profile couples. Papoose reflected, "People see the public side, the red carpets, the glamorous moments. They don't see the fights, the long nights, the moments when you doubt everything, even each other." Claressa nodded, her voice quiet but firm, "And that's the challenge. To keep loving authentically while the world scrutinizes every word, every glance." Just when it seemed the conversation had reached a contemplative moment, a shocking revelation broke the fragile calm. A text message appeared on Claressa's phone from a former associate, implicating someone close to them in manipulations and betrayals meant to derail both their personal and professional lives. The room seemed to tilt, the weight of the revelation pressing down. "So all this time, someone's been pulling strings behind our backs," Papoose murmured, disbelief coloring his tone. Claressa's lips pressed into a thin line, her eyes unwavering. Yes. And it's time we take control of the narrative. No one else gets to dictate our story. Fans were in a frenzy, the drama fueling debates, theories, and endless speculation online. Every reaction, every emotional pivot, every subtle gesture added layers to the narrative, making it impossible for anyone to look away. As the night progressed, the discussion delved deeper into trust, loyalty, and the delicate balancing act of love under public scrutiny. Claressa shared intimate insights into her boxing career, drawing parallels between fighting in the ring and navigating personal and professional challenges. Every bout was a lesson, she explained. About resilience, about discipline, about surviving when no one believes in you. And now, every decision outside the ring feels like a fight too. Papoose listened, his defensive stance softening as he absorbed her words. And that's why I respect you, he said quietly. Because you fight not just for yourself, but for all of us who watch and learn from you. The dialogue became a complex interplay of vulnerability, honesty, and strategic reflection. Each moment was punctuated by heated exchanges, confessions, and the occasional laugh, brief reprieves in a storm of emotion. Another twist arose when an anonymous insider joined via a video call, revealing details that neither had anticipated. The information forced them to confront uncomfortable truths, challenging their perceptions of trust and loyalty. How could this happen without us knowing? Claressa whispered, a mix of shock and resolve in her voice. Papoose shook his head slowly. People are complicated. Loyalty isn't always what it seems. The discussion continued with alternating bursts of tension and reflective calm, weaving a narrative that blended personal stakes with high-profile drama. Fans were captivated, live commenting every micro-expression, theorizing every motive, and dissecting each emotional beat. The late hours brought a focus on next steps, as Claressa and Papoose tried to chart a path forward amidst the chaos. We need to be proactive, Claressa said firmly, to protect our work, our love, and ourselves. Papoose nodded, and we have to do it together, even when it's messy, even when it hurts, even when the world is watching. The cameras captured it all, the determination, the vulnerability, the strategic planning, and the unfiltered emotions. Fans were riveted, sensing that the night's revelations were only the beginning of a saga that would dominate headlines, social media discussions, and fan speculation for weeks, if not months. Every confession, every argument, every unexpected revelation set the stage for a narrative charged with unpredictability, raw emotion, and high-stakes drama, leaving viewers desperate to see what would unfold next in the intertwined worlds of Papoose and Claressa Shields. As the night deepened, the conversation took an even more intense turn. Papoose's normally measured voice grew sharper, tinged with frustration, as he recounted past incidents that had never been fully addressed. You think I don't remember how everyone doubted us, he said, eyes narrowing. I've carried those doubts, those whispers, every single day. And now it feels like some people are still trying to play games behind our backs. Claressa's expression softened for a moment, but then hardened again. And that's exactly why I can't just stay silent anymore, she replied. I've stayed quiet for too long while people undermined me, questioned my decisions, and tried to paint our journey as something it isn't. Enough is enough. Fans watching live reacted instantly. The chat exploding with messages like this is getting intense, and they're exposing everything. Every emotional pivot, every pause, every sharp glance was amplified by the cameras, capturing the raw intensity that only true, unfiltered reality could bring. The discussion moved fluidly between personal grievances and professional ambitions, each fueling the other. Papoose leaned back in his chair, rubbing his forehead as he tried to reconcile his emotions. We've been through so much, he said quietly, and yet, here we are, still fighting for recognition, still fighting to protect what's ours. Claressa nodded, acknowledging the truth in his words while also asserting her own perspective. And we will continue to fight, she said firmly, not just for us, but for everyone watching, for everyone who believes in authenticity, resilience, and love. The conversation then shifted back to Bars on Wheels, the project that had ignited this cascade of revelations. Claressa spoke passionately about her vision, highlighting the innovation, the creativity, and the challenges of merging music and boxing in a way that had never been done before. This is bigger than just me or Papoose, she said. It's about setting a precedent, inspiring the next generation, and proving that nothing can hold us back if we stay true to our vision. Papoose chimed in, emphasizing the strategic side of their endeavor. But passion alone isn't enough, he cautioned. We have to anticipate obstacles, understand the politics, and navigate the industry carefully. One misstep can undo everything we've worked for. The fans were captivated by the dynamic interplay between raw emotion and calculated strategy. The tension was palpable, yet there was also a sense of authenticity that made the drama irresistible. Midway through the discussion, another bombshell surfaced. A previously unmentioned friend reached out via video call, revealing that certain associates had been actively working to sabotage their project for personal gain. The revelation sent shockwaves through the room. So all this time, they were manipulating everything behind the scenes? Claressa asked, incredulous. Papoose's jaw tightened. Yes, he replied, and it's exactly why we can't let our guard down. We have to be vigilant, smart, and united. The fans' reactions were instant, ranging from outrage to disbelief to admiration for the couple's resilience. The emotional stakes rose higher, blending personal betrayal with professional challenges in a way that kept everyone on edge. As the conversation continued, Claressa reflected on the pressures of maintaining a high-profile relationship under public scrutiny. People judge without understanding, she said softly. They see the glam, the wins, the awards, but they don't see the arguments, the sacrifices, the nights we lie awake, wondering if we can trust anyone. Papoose nodded, his expression reflective. And that's the reality of black love in the public eye, he added. It's a constant balancing act between vulnerability and strength, between authenticity and self-preservation. Another twist emerged when an old message thread appeared on Claressa's phone, revealing past conversations with someone who had attempted to manipulate them both emotionally and professionally. The room tensed as they processed the implications. This changes everything, Papoose muttered. We need to confront this head-on now. Claressa exhaled, her voice steady but resolute. And we will. Together. No one controls our narrative but us. Fans were enthralled, their attention glued to every micro-expression, every pause, every emotional nuance. The dialogue seamlessly blended confrontations with reflective insights, creating a narrative that was both emotionally compelling and deeply engaging. As the night wore on, the conversation circled back to ambition, personal boundaries, and the fine line between trust and doubt. We have to protect our legacy, Claressa said, because if we don't, who will? Papoose agreed, adding, and we have to protect each other, even when it's messy, even when it hurts, even when the world is watching. The cameras captured it all, the strategies, the confessions, the subtle gestures, the fleeting moments of vulnerability that revealed the depth of their connection. Fans were left hanging on every word. Every word, every gesture, every revelation had contributed to a story that was as unpredictable as it was enthralling, cementing its place as a defining moment in the lives of Papoose and Claressa Shields. A moment that fans would dissect, debate, and remember for a long time to come. The intensity of the night showed no signs of letting up. Papoose leaned back, taking a deep breath, as if trying to summon patience, while Claressa's eyes darted around the room, the fire in them unwavering. I can't believe it took this long for the truth to come out, she said quietly, almost to herself. All the manipulation, the whisper campaigns, the sideways looks, it's exhausting, but we can't let it break us. Fans watching were reacting instantaneously, flooding social media with comments like emotions ran high and this is pure drama. The conversation had now evolved from personal grievances into a full-blown dissection of trust, ambition, and survival in the spotlight. Papoose nodded slowly, his usually confident demeanor tempered by the weight of reality. We've always been fighters. In the ring, in the studio, and now, in life, he said. But sometimes fighting isn't enough. We need strategy, foresight, and unity more than ever. Claressa absorbed his words, the tension in her shoulders easing slightly, though her expression remained sharp. Unity, yes, but we also need honesty, she countered. Without it, no strategy can save us. The cameras captured every subtle shift in posture, every micro-expression, every fleeting glance that told more than words ever could. Fans were captivated, the chat alive with speculation, empathy, and awe. Midway through the dialogue, a new revelation shifted the energy once again. An unexpected email appeared on Papoose's phone, containing information about a financial misstep allegedly orchestrated by a former collaborator. The shock was palpable. So this wasn't just emotional manipulation, Papoose murmured, his voice edged with disbelief. They were trying to undermine us financially too. Claressa's eyes narrowed, determination radiating from her. Yes, and it only proves we have to be smarter, stronger, and more united than ever before. The emotional stakes surged, blending betrayal, professional pressure, and personal pain in a way that kept viewers on edge. As the night progressed, The discussion circled back to Black love and the unique pressures faced by couples under constant scrutiny. People don't understand the work it takes to protect something authentic, Papoose said, voice low but firm. They only see the highlight reels, the red carpets, the awards, and assume everything is perfect. Claressa added, her tone tinged with frustration and resolve. And when you live in the spotlight, every misstep is magnified, every argument is dissected, and every flaw is turned into a headline. Fans were riveted, connecting with the raw honesty and high-stakes drama unfolding before them. Then came another bombshell. A surprise phone call from a close friend of Claressa revealed insider knowledge of an ongoing scheme to create conflict between them for personal gain. The revelation stunned both, shaking their sense of trust and forcing them to confront uncomfortable truths. They've been manipulating everything from the shadows, Claressa whispered, incredulous. Papoose ran a hand through his hair, his expression a mix of anger and disbelief. We trusted them, and now we find out they've been working against us all along. The tension escalated, each revelation layering another dimension of conflict and intrigue. The dialogue alternated between strategic planning and emotionally charged confessions, the emotional roller coaster keeping fans glued to the screen. Claressa detailed her journey in boxing, emphasizing resilience, sacrifice, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Every punch in the ring taught me something about life, she said, her voice steady but laden with emotion. And now, every challenge we face outside the ring is a test of that same resilience. Papoose listened intently, admiration and concern flickering across his features. And that's why we have to stick together, he said softly, because outside the ring, it's just as tough, if not tougher. The cameras captured every nuance, the interplay of vulnerability and strength, making the narrative both compelling and relatable. As the night deepened, another revelation surfaced: a private conversation between associates, suggesting a deliberate attempt to exploit their vulnerabilities for profit. The room's energy shifted again, disbelief and anger intertwining. So everything we thought was loyalty was just a facade, Claressa said, voice tight with emotion. We were being played. Papoose's fists clenched, the tension radiating through the room. Then it's time to set things right, he replied firmly. We decide what happens next, not them. Fans erupted online, dissecting motives, alliances, and potential fallout. Every word, every reaction, every emotional pivot was scrutinized, debated, and shared at lightning speed. The conversation moved seamlessly between personal stakes and professional ambitions, each amplifying the other in a dramatic crescendo. Midway, they reflected on the broader implications of their journey, discussing societal pressures, personal boundaries, and the challenge of maintaining authenticity under the public gaze. We have to protect our love, our work, and our reputation, Claressa said, a mix of determination and vulnerability in her voice. Because if we don't, no one else will. Papoose nodded, the weight of the night's revelations settling heavily. And that means making hard choices, confronting truths, and standing united, even when it's painful. The fans remained captivated, their engagement reaching a fever pitch as they absorbed every twist, turn, and confession. By the end of this segment, the night had become a tapestry of drama, strategy, raw emotion, and resilience. Each revelation, each argument, each fleeting moment of laughter or tension added depth to a narrative that was impossible to ignore. Viewers were left on edge, fully invested, and desperate to know what would happen in the next phase of this unfolding saga. The interplay of betrayal, ambition, love, and loyalty had created a story that was both mesmerizing and unpredictable, ensuring that fans would remain hooked, dissecting every word and anticipating every future development with bated breath. The conversation showed no signs of slowing down, the room still thick with tension, anticipation, and raw emotion. Papoose's gaze was steady, yet heavy with the weight of everything that had been revealed. We've been walking on a tightrope for too long, he said, voice low but edged with intensity, trying to maintain the image, keep people satisfied, while so many secrets festered underneath. Claressa nodded, the fire in her eyes undimmed. And now it's time to step off that tightrope and confront everything head-on, she replied, her voice firm, resolute. Fans watching live were captivated, their comments flooding social media. Some in shock, others in admiration, and a few openly debating who bore more responsibility. The dialogue flowed seamlessly from past betrayals to present challenges, the air charged with anticipation for what would come next. Midway, another shocking revelation emerged, one that neither Papoose nor Claressa had foreseen. An old associate, previously thought to be loyal, had allegedly been feeding false information to the media, creating tensions and undermining the couple's projects. So this wasn't just gossip or coincidence, Papoose muttered, disbelief mingling with anger. It was a deliberate attempt to destabilize everything we built. Claressa's expression hardened, determination radiating. Yes, and we can't let it continue. It's time to reclaim our narrative and set things straight. Fans reacted instantly, some expressing outrage, others awe at the couple's resilience, while many speculated about the fallout and possible confrontations that could follow. The conversation turned introspective as both reflected on their personal journeys, the sacrifices made, and the battles fought, both public and private. Claressa spoke about the mental and emotional challenges of balancing fame, ambition, and love. People think it's glamorous, but every day is a fight, she said softly. A fight to stay true to yourself, to your partner, to your dreams, and to everyone who believes in you. Papoose responded with empathy and insight, and that's why we have to trust each other above all else. No one else can understand the pressure we face, and that makes loyalty even more critical. The intensity grew as they began discussing future plans for Bars on Wheels, the project that had initially sparked this entire chain of revelations. Claressa detailed her vision with passion, emphasizing innovation, creativity, and empowerment. This isn't just entertainment, she said. It's a statement, a movement, a testament to what we can achieve when we push boundaries and refuse to be boxed in. Papoose added the strategic perspective, emphasizing the importance of planning and foresight. We have to anticipate every obstacle, every interference, every It's not enough to have talent. We need strategy and unity to succeed. The fans were riveted, commenting in real time about the mix of passion, intellect, and drama. The tension escalated when another twist unfolded. A live message from a previously unknown insider suggested additional layers of betrayal and manipulation from people thought to be allies. The revelation sent shockwaves through the room. So we've been surrounded by deception this whole time, Claressa whispered, disbelief lacing her voice. Papoose clenched his jaw, anger flashing across his face. Yes, but now we know. And now we act. The cameras captured every micro-expression, every pause, every subtle gesture, creating an intimate yet dramatic window into the couple's world. The dialogue evolved into an exploration of resilience, trust, and the pressures of Black love under constant public scrutiny. People don't see the nights we spend questioning, doubting, and reassuring each other, Papoose said. They only see the public celebrations and achievements. Claressa added, and when you combine that with betrayals, external pressures, and the need to protect your legacy, every decision becomes a battle. As the night wore on, the discussion delved deeper into emotional vulnerability. Claressa recounted past moments where trust had been tested, highlighting the strength and determination required to maintain both her personal and professional integrity. Every challenge, she said, voice steady yet laden with emotion, was about proving to myself, and to the world, that I'm unbreakable. And even now, with everything coming to light, I stand firm. Papoose nodded, his admiration evident. And that's why I stay. Because strength like that deserves loyalty, respect, and partnership. Fans continued to react, dissecting every glance, every word, every emotional beat. The combination of strategic insight, raw emotion, and unpredictable twists kept viewers on the edge of their seats. Yet the drama wasn't over. Midway, an unanticipated phone call from a former rival added another layer of intrigue, hinting at potential conflicts that could disrupt both their personal relationship and professional endeavors. The revelation demanded immediate attention and recalibration. So this isn't just about the past, Claressa said, eyes narrowing. It's about the present and the future. And we have to be ready. Papoose agreed, determination hardening his features. We face it together, united. No hesitation. The narrative had now become a complex tapestry of emotion, strategy, loyalty, and ambition, each element feeding into the other, making it impossible for fans to look away. As the night edged toward its final hours, the focus returned to their long-term goals, both personal and professional. Claressa emphasized empowerment, innovation, and maintaining authenticity, while Papoose highlighted resilience, vigilance, and the importance of protecting their shared legacy. Every exchange, every revelation, and every emotional pivot reinforced the intensity of the saga. Fans were left hanging on every word, fully invested in the unfolding drama, and desperate to see what would happen next. The night had been a whirlwind of confessions, confrontations, and strategic reflections, leaving an indelible mark on both their lives and the hearts of their audience. The interplay of betrayal, ambition, love, and loyalty created a narrative that was as unpredictable as it was enthralling, ensuring that viewers would remain captivated, dissecting every detail. and speculating endlessly about the next chapter in the lives of Papoose and Claressa Shields.